Hey, what's up, folks? This is Jesse with Keeping It Real Finance, the channel that always has your back and tells it like it is. Well, today's video is going to be a little bit different. This time we are doing a tutorial on Market Cipher B. So if you haven't heard about Market Cipher B, this is basically one of the top indicators there is in all of trading. All of the pro traders use this, and I'm going to be explaining that in this video. So what we're going to do is we're going to break down Market Cipher B. What exactly is it? How you can read this thing. It's a little bit complex. It's kind of hard to figure that out, as well as how you can then use it with your portfolio. So I'm going to be showing you a little bit of everything in this one. Hopefully it all makes sense to you. In the videos that I've found on it, and there are plenty of them on YouTube, it's a little bit complex and it's kind of dry, so I'm trying to keep it light and simple for everybody out there, all right? So, as always, make sure to hit the like button if you enjoy the video today. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and if you click the bell, you'll be made aware whenever I post time-sensitive content, okay? And now, let's get it going. So what is Market Cipher B? Well, the simplest response to that would probably be that it's roughly about 5 to 6 indicators into one. So typically when you turn on indicators on something like TradingView, you have to turn them on one at a time. Well, this basically is combining a whole bunch of them into one, where you can see a clearer picture of exactly what's happening in regards to momentum. So really we're looking for buying indicators, selling indicators, and warning indicators, all right? Now, with that, I've got the decoder ring here for you today, so I'm going to be explaining this, and hopefully it makes sense, okay? So, first, let's look at the green and red wave. So, if you look at the baseline, which is set to 0, you'll notice that there is a green wave that is sometimes above the baseline and a red wave that is sometimes below the baseline. Now, what this signifies is money flowing into or out of a project. The more the green wave builds, the more money is going into it, whereas the more the red wave builds, the more money is leaving the project. So if you're buying, what you're looking for here is a red wave that's shrinking and heading green. If you're selling, you want a decreasing green wave. So I actually think this is probably one of the most important aspects of Market Cipher B, is just overall kind of seeing a trend here. And when you look at it on the Bitcoin chart, it seems pretty obvious, though in the moment maybe it wasn't quite as obvious, but I really like this one, all right? Now second are the blue waves. So the blue waves tell us momentum. So I'm not sure if they're visible, but there are two faint white lines at positive 60 and at negative 60. So anything above positive 60 is sort of thought about, if you want to think about, almost like overbought, whereas anything below 60 is, negative 60 that is oversold. Now why this is important is because you do want to be buying into a coin if it's in the right area, right? We don't want to buy at the top. You want to be buying at the bottom. So what you're looking for here are trends in the blue waves. Now, if you're trading on the minute or hour, which is how they do it in the tutorials for Market Cipher, it's a little bit different than what I'm looking at here today. This is much more drawn out over weeks and months, okay? But essentially what you'd be looking for is, if you were day trading it, looking for lessening blue waves on the bottom, which means that momentum is increasing, and then it'll start increasing the blue waves on the top. Now, once those peak, they'll start dropping off, etc. So for the sake of this video, we're mainly looking at it a little more drawn out than you would if you were a heavy-handed day trader trading all day long, right? Now, the most important markers are the green and the red dots. Now, the green dots signify buy signals for sideways and upward trends, while the red dots signify sell signals. Now, it's important to emphasize that not all green dots are upward. That's really important. So as I just said, as many charts can go sideways, where we can have a green dot that's later followed by a red dot, possibly another green dot, another red dot. Eventually, we're going to have a green dot that will indicate an uptrend that you can see, for example, in this chart here with VThor Energy. So here's one where we sort of had a green dot. It basically what it is it's almost like a false positive. So if you would have acted on that, you would have bought, and then all of a sudden it drops a little bit lower. So that's basically a sideways trend. It wasn't an upward trend yet. We had a red dot and then another green dot, all right? Now, the blue and the purple lines represent RSIs. Now, I do have to admit, I'm still kind of partial to the original RSI. I kind of like that one the best. I don't know if I'm fully on board with the Market Cipher RSI. And if you wanted the original one, it's simply listed at Relative Strength Index in TradingView, okay? Now, the red line in the Market Cipher is telling us that the RSI has a downward trend. So in this case, even though the price of Bitcoin was rising, each pump it was pumping a little bit less, indicating basically an eventual downward trend that also corresponded very well with the green and red wave of money leaving Bitcoin. So this is where we're putting our indicators together. Now lastly, the yellow area is the volume weighted average price, or VWAP. Now if you were trading by the minute or hour, you could use this to essentially gauge when to get in or when to get out of a coin, all right? Now for a little bit of background, so Market Cipher, as far as I can find out and tell, was created by a guy who goes by Crypto Face. Now, Crypto Face actually went on BitBoy's channel, and you know, it's kind of hard to see who this guy is because he's wearing a mask, he's kind of doing it in covert, but he's got a red Ferrari behind him, so he's onto something here, right? He knows what he's doing. So you got to give him that. Now, where you can find more information on Market Cipher is through marketciphertrading.com. Now, the site includes, so they have an About section, which includes general information. We have Market Cipher A, we have Market Cipher B, the point of this video. We have Market Cipher SR, which shows support and resistance, and Market Cipher DBSI, or Dual Band Strength Index, which uses a scoring system to interpret signals. Now, subscriptions to Market Cipher come in at, you have two options here. It's either $600 for the year or $1,500 lifetime. Now, if you're going to be seriously day trading and you're going to be at the computer, then I would highly recommend you probably need the $1,500 lifetime version because you're going to get more out of this, all right? Now, if on the other hand, you don't necessarily have the time to be day trading every single day, but you do want to follow this Market Cipher, then there may be another option for you, okay? Now, I was able to find through a little search that on Reddit, somebody mentioned that essentially there has been a nearly exact replica of Market Cipher B that is free on TradingView that a guy by the name of Vu Man Chu posted. It's VUMANCHU, okay? So all you need to do here, this is actually really easy, is you can be on your mobile phone right now. You simply need to download TradingView. Next option would be opening an account. Now note that if you can also upgrade on TradingView, getting better functionality, more features, more charts, etc. And I do have referral links in the video description that do include TradingView amongst other platforms. So by all means, check that out first and go through that link even if you're doing the free version, because later you may want to upgrade and then you get a bonus for that, okay? So now if you stick with the free route, next all you have to do is go to the indicators. You would type in Vu Man Chu, and when the list comes up, all you need to do is click on the star next to Market Cipher B, adding it to your favorites. It's that easy. You could also add Market Cipher A if you want to, but I honestly think that Market Cipher B is probably the easier one to read for the general amount of traders, all right? Now, all you do, you click on it, you add it, and then it's pretty much there, which is pretty awesome, right? Now, on my TradingView, note that I also have as my indicators, you get three. If you're doing the free version, you get 3 indicators, right? So I have Market Cipher B, that's number 1. Number 2, I have the 20, 50, and 200 EMA daily, which is the moving average. So I want to know where we're at. So with the recent crash that occurred, the moving averages on the 20 and 50 day went bearish. Those have not corrected as of yet. So we're technically still in a bearish trend after that. As I mentioned in my video about that dip, it could take a couple of weeks before this ultimately corrects itself and we start going up again, okay? So that's why I add that one. And then in addition to that one, like I said, I like the OG, the original RSI. And the way you look for this one, you just type in relative strength index, put a star on that one, that's added to your favorites, and then you can add that right onto your chart too. All of this is free. So it's as simple then as you pulling up your phone, typing in the crypto you're looking at, and looking at these indicators, right? So between all of them, we've got the moving averages, we have the market Cipher B, we have the RSI, and if you can combine the indicators, that is the biggest thing. So CryptoFace, when he did his interview with BitBoy, talked about that. He also talked about it on one of the tutorials that's on their website. So in that, he said, you really want to be able to combine indicators, right? And that's kind of the biggest thing here. So you combine them. You look at the blue waves. He talks about the bigger blue wave being an anchor wave and the shorter being a trigger wave. So the trigger wave would be where you would buy if you were doing this trading by the minute or hour. I think he had his trading view set to the 30-minute. So he's looking at it very closely and trading in and out. He said, you know, usually at the longest, it's maybe 12, 14 hours that he's in and out of something, okay? I personally, I don't really have the time, the commitment to give to trading that in depth on a constant basis. So I like using Market Cipher B more so that I can gauge when to buy and when to potentially sell. So what I think is key here is that money inflow, right? So if the money's flowing out, that's a bit of an issue, and you want to get in right when the money has stopped the bottom of it's flowing out. Now it's starting to flow in. That's when you want to get in, right? And when the money peaks, that's when you could get out of the project. So the way I'm looking at it is I think you could use Market Cipher and trade by maybe a 2 to 3 to week, maybe even a month swings, basically swing trading on some of these. I think you could totally use it that way. But overall, it's going to tell you when you should get in and when you should potentially get out if you add all these indicators together. Now, nothing's perfect. There all are false positives, and that's why CryptoFace was saying you got to have multiple indicators. And then the more indicators you have, the higher the probability. That's what it is. So that's it for today's video. The #1 indicator, how you can get it for free, and how you can use it today on any of the cryptos you're doing, as well as you can do this with stocks. But primarily, I'm looking at cryptos for it. And I think it's a fantastic indicator that CryptoFace built. Obviously, Fu Manchu, whoever he is, copied it. It seems pretty close. It's nearly identical. Whether it's 100% to be determined. But like I said, if you're not committing your full-time day in, day out to 100% day trading, then I'm not sure if you need that option. If you are going to go that route, I would highly recommend you do the full $1,500 though and get everything that CryptoFace has to offer on there. Okay? So that's it. I hope you enjoyed the video today. If you did, make sure to hit the like button. Don't forget that I'm also on Twitter at KIR Finance, where I'm tweeting and retweeting on a regular basis. Check me out there. And for a friendly reminder, this is Jesse with Keeping It Real Finance, the channel that always has your back and tells it like it is. And I will see you on the next one. Later.